Hi guys, sorry about the wind noise. Got a fan blowing in here because it is roasting hot. I've got another fan just here that we want to use. Haven't used it in years. It's been in my workroom, hidden behind all the junk. Got it out the other day to try it out, and the first thing that happened was when I tried to turn it on and off, the dial fell inside. There's a couple of pillars that have just snapped off. So we're going to have a look, see if we can get in there. Now there's no screws anywhere, so I'm pretty sure it all clips together. I think if I can get this under here, oh, it's all breaking as I'm touching it. It's old plastic that's been in the sun. And I think it's all going to snap as we're trying to get it apart. So this might be a one-way teardown. Might be. I found some screws. Oh dear. I bet if we undo those screws it all springs apart easily. Why didn't I spot those at the beginning? I usually manage to find the screws. But not this time, clearly. Right. Well, that's ruined that then, isn't it? There's a couple of clips there. But all the rest of it's just been flaking apart when I've been levering it. So it's two screws at the top. So now you know if you're going to take one apart. This is the problem. Let's say these are just, it's just old plastic, isn't it? It's just given way. Well, while we got it apart, surprisingly enough, we got an electric motor. I think we rather expected that. And then the fan, and the bearing at this end. Where are we? This end. To help it spin freely. I'm not quite sure what's holding this bit in place now. Oh, it's just a clip. So that's the bit that's broken, which we could potentially just sort of glue back in place. It might last. That's got a timer in it. Lots of nice gears in it for the timer. I expect it's a clockwork timer, isn't it? And that will just switch the whole thing off when it's finished. And then here, that's the different speeds. I expect that's just a matter of which coils are connected up on the motor. And then that one, oscillation it says, so there must be something down there that sends the motor forwards and backwards. Or Is there a second motor there to twist the whole... Yeah, there'll be a second motor down there or something to turn the whole thing. Oh, let's have a look at that. I reckon there's a second motor in there. Because there's no gearing going from the main motor. Where are we? Let's see if you can see what I'm talking about. So that's the main motor for the fan, which has obviously got several different wires there, which I would have assumed probably feed different layers of coils in the motor, so you get different speeds from it. But without taking the motor apart, we can't tell that. We might have to take this apart properly. So I was originally not doing this as a teardown, this was just to try and fix that switch at the top, but I think we've probably broken enough of it now to call it a full teardown. Oh, and I could put it back together and put tape up the side. That would actually do the job. It'll look rough, but it'll do the job. I'll have a think for a minute. Do we want to do a full teardown or do we want to try and fix it? Well, against my better judgment, I have gone for the repair. So we've got super glue reinforced with baking powder to reattach it. If you're not familiar with the process, you put super glue on first and then you sprinkle baking powder over it and it sets like concrete. So it gives us extra surface area to hold it all together. And that appears to be working now. Timer's running at the moment because I was just testing it. So that seems okay. I will put it all back together. What I will do though is I will probably still have a look at that motor at the bottom, see if we can figure out what all the wires do, and see if there is a second motor in the base that does the rotation, or oscillation as it calls it. Before I have a closer look at the motor, we'll just check it works. So it's in the on position. So it's spinning. That's quite interesting. There's no air blowing out this direction, but there is when we get around there. Wonder how that works. Position 2, faster. Position 3, fastest. Yeah, it's quite literally no air blowing this direction here. And yet there is here. So it's to do with actually being in the case is directing it. Off again, and then that's a timer so that it'll turn itself off when the timer runs out. Yeah. Yeah, off in the 0 position. Running, click, tick, click, 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 off. or in that position, permanently on. Oscillation, yeah, there's the oscillation. Right, I've just unscrewed that so we can lever it up a bit and see what it is. It just appears to be a capacitor, 1 microfarad, AC 450 volts. I don't know what 2507021 is, but the date stamp is 2004-12. So yeah, that just appears to be a capacitor. I was thinking it was some sort of thermal fuse or something, but it's nothing like that. The motor itself, induction motor, you can read this as well as me, model DY25BC, 220, 240 volts, 50 hertz, 45 watts, Class E, manufacturer, mid-EA, fan factory. I'm not going to try and disassemble the motor. I'm just trying to peek, see if we can see what's going on. There's a white plastic covered cable going in there and a cloth covered cable going in there. When we come round here, I don't know if we can see, the cloth covered cable has just got a couple of blue wires going into it, whereas the white plastic covered cable has got this bunch of wires going into it. We've got orange, red, black, white. So, out of focus. So as I was saying, I think that's probably just going to different sets of coils in the motor. So depending on which ones are selected, depends on how fast the motor turns. Right, I'll take this metal plate off, see if we can see in there. That's a bit of a surprise. That came off quite easily. Okay, what have we got in here? That arm is connected. Looks like we have to push. Oh, you can't see what I'm looking at. Looks like I'll have to release that little pin that goes through before we can lift this off. Either that or unscrew that. Can I get a screwdriver to that? Will the rest of this... Oh, wait a minute, the rest of it will come off. Will I regret this in a minute? Probably. Right, so there's our cam that is pushed by this rotating. I can possibly put power on it and demonstrate that. That will rotate, pushes that arm backwards and forwards, which will make that go like that. Have we got anything else in there? Got a couple of connectors. You can see it's black wires going to that motor. I don't know if they've kept it black all the way up. I think it was... I can't see. Oh, black and a brown up at the other end where the switch is for it. I'll put the power on and we'll see if we can see that turning. power is on. So I just hold that like that. Oscillator on. Can you see that? Yeah, very slow. There we go. Just realised I've got my hands awfully close to metal parts of the thing that could possibly be earthed and potentially in an emergency or in an accident be live. So don't do this at home, as they always say. At least we can see the oscillating motion. If I can zoom out a bit. See, this one's rotating, that one's rotating, this bit is oscillating. Right, well this isn't what I'd intended to do at all. And I will put it all back together, and I will have to use tape to seal where I've cracked the plastic. But it looks like it might still be a worker. All back together. I haven't put any tape on it yet. I do have some rather nice yellow and black hazard tape that I could put on it. It doesn't actually look too bad. I mean, I know where to look, and I can see the little holes in the plastic where it's shattered as I've been trying to lever it apart. And now that I know, 2 screws on the back of the handle, a few clips either side, and there's also a couple of clips at the bottom. And then, actually it's the other panel, the back panel comes off. I've no idea how old that is, and on that side I think it was, on the back, you can see where there was a label at some time telling us the manufacturer and that, but that's obviously come off at some time. That gives you an idea of the original colour, so it's obviously faded yellow over the years. The sort of thing the 8-bit guy would be putting into his bath of peroxide is what you use for bleaching your hair. And he makes a bath of it to recolour plastic computer cases. If you're into old computers, 8-bit guy. Worth a look. Thanks for watching. If you want more information, check down below in the video description. If you like this video, you might like this one up here. And if you want to subscribe, you can check out my channel over here. Up here is my latest video on my channel, and down here is a video playlist associated with the video you've just watched. Thanks again for watching.